And Gannon wouldn't give up, you know? He didn't give up. And it's not having answers and expecting to wake up, hoping. It gets tough. Not knowing where he's at, if he's okay, if he's cold, if he doesn't have food. Like, that's a mom's role. And I can't get to him, and you kind of feel like a failure when you can't. Thank goodness for this. Because I hear his voice.
Will you play it again?
Yeah.
I have another sister.
Hey everybody, my name's Tristan, and welcome back to the Mysterious Minds YouTube channel. This case, it was all over the news. And there's so much information out there about it, and I'm going to try my best to compile all of it into a nice and enjoyable video that, I guess, as enjoyable of a video that murder could be. Gannon Stauch was born on September 29th, 2008 in South Carolina. When Gannon was born, he was born premature and he only weighed 2 pounds, and he was given just a 10% chance of survival. But he fought and he lived. So he was a born fighter, and he was a lover too. He loved his family, his friends, he loved video games, and he was really into Sonic the Hedgehog, and he was looking forward to that new movie that was coming out. He had a little sister, Lena, who was 8 years old, and he had an older stepsister named Harley, who was 17. His father, Al Stauch, and his mother, Landon, they divorced when he was young. And rumor has it that it was because Al had been having an affair with a woman named Letitia Hardin. Let's talk about Letitia for a second, because she is an interesting person. At some point in her life, she had been tried for communicating threats, and I can't really find what her sentence was, but it was a misdemeanor crime. She had also been convicted of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and she was sentenced to 45 days in confinement and 18 months of probation. She was also a teacher. Well, kind of. In 2016, she had her teaching license suspended for unprofessional conduct and willfully neglecting her duties. An article I found said that she had actually failed to show up for the first day of school. She had also been offered a teaching job, but just 2 days before Gannon disappeared, that offer was rescinded due to her past actions. After his parents divorced, Al married Letitia, and the new family, they moved to Colorado Springs, Colorado, where Al, he got a job with the Colorado National Guard, which he deployed with on January 25th, 2020. And sadly, just 2 days later, on January 27th, Letitia reported Gannon as missing. According to Letitia, Gannon had been up most of the day before, which was a Sunday, with stomach problems, so he was allowed to stay home from school the next day. Now, when I was a kid, if I told my parents that I was sick and I stayed home from school, then I better stay in bed, or my parents would give me a reason to be in bed. But everybody's parenting style is different, because she said that at around 3 or 4 p.m., Gannon had left to go play at a friend's house. He was supposed to be back at around 6 p.m., and after failing to return home, Letitia sent her 17-year-old daughter, Harley, out to the park to look for him. And then Letitia, she started checking with all of the neighbors. After not being able to find him, that's when Letitia reported him as missing. When police got there, they did a quick search of the house and the surrounding area, but Gannon, he was nowhere to be found. They did, however, find his phone, and on his phone they found that somebody had searched for, "Can my parents find my phone if it's off?" and the search was done before he supposedly left the house. Because of that search, police, they labeled Gannon as a runaway. Now, Gannon, he had some health problems, and he was taking medication. I don't really know what kind of problems, what kind of medication, but he left without taking his medication with him. So police, they quickly changed his status to missing and endangered. Friends, family, police, dogs, hundreds of volunteers searched for Gannon. Gannon's dad took emergency leave and flew home, and his mother, Landon, she flew out to Colorado to help search for him. And it was around this time that police started to notice that Letitia's story didn't exactly add up. Police, they weren't the only ones to take notice of this. Letitia, she was soon under constant harassment about Gannon's disappearance. When asked what friend Gannon had gone to visit, she couldn't remember. When asked what neighbors she checked with, she couldn't remember. On top of that, Letitia released this video that she took just the day before Gannon disappeared.
Gannon, I promise this is the last time I'm going to ask you. I'm just freaked out, okay? Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose?
He did it.
Okay, we promise. He promised.
On purpose.
Pinky promise.
Pinky.
Okay, alright, so, listen. We're gonna have to sell stuff to fix it, okay? So we figure out what we got to sell. We can sell the sofa. We can sell whatever. Because we got to get it fixed. So, lady, don't be mad at us and kick us out of the house. Okay? You got it?
In the video, Letitia is questioning Gannon about a spilled candle, and to me it sounds like Letitia had lashed out at Gannon in anger and had possibly hurt him. And like she knew this, so she was trying to cover it up by playing it off in some sort of weird way or whatever. Because to me, Gannon, he sounds absolutely terrified. Fed up with all of the lies and the rumors, Letitia decided that she wanted to get her side of the story out there. So, on January 31st, 2020, Letitia gave this interview.
You are?
I am Tisha Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
You've been a part of the investigation since the very first time. You were the last person to see him. Is that right?
Correct. I took care of Gannon for the last 2 years in our home because his mother didn't want to do it. And I would never, ever hurt this child.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
A couple of days later, a neighbor of the Stauchs came forward with surveillance footage from the day that Gannon disappeared. Instead of going to the police right away, he took this footage to Al, Gannon's dad, to show him first. The video shows Letitia and Gannon leaving the house at around 10:15 a.m. on the morning of January 27th. And about 4 hours later, Letitia and Gannon, they return home. Some people are going to say that Gannon was not with her, but investigators, they believe that he was with her, and the footage does not show him leave to go to a friend's house. Supposedly, when Al watched this video, he broke down crying. He was absolutely devastated. He started saying she lied. She lied about the time. He didn't go to a friend's house, and he was also scared. He had found a dinner plate-sized blood stain in Gannon's room that Letitia played off by saying, "Oh, Gannon, he just got a nosebleed." After being confronted for all of her lies, Letitia, she decided that she would finally tell the truth. Okay, no she didn't. She made up another complete bullshit story. On January 29th, while being interviewed by investigators, Letitia, she completely changed her story. She told them that on the 27th, after her and Gannon returned home, a Hispanic man named Eduardo had held her at gunpoint, raped her, and then kidnapped Gannon. She said that during the rape, Gannon jumped on top of this guy's back and that this guy threw Gannon across the room and then demanded a suitcase and a cardboard box and then left with Gannon in hand. And she says that instead of reporting the crime, she decides to clean up the crime scene. At the end of the interview, investigators offered her a rape exam, which she refused, and then she started to complain about a shortness of breath and chest pains. So they took her to the hospital, where she just straight up left. She didn't even tell anybody that she was leaving, she just left. So after that, detectives felt like it would be a good idea to seize her car. And while searching her car, investigators found something that was pretty interesting. They found a receipt that was printed on January 27th for 2 things of carpet cleaner, baking soda, and trash bags. Detectives also found possible signs of blood on the trunk, the back seat, the passenger seat, and the glove box. Over the next few weeks, detectives would conduct more searches of the Stauch home, and they would use luminol to find blood all throughout the house. They found blood in the hallway leading up to Gannon's bedroom, the utility room, on the staircase, and in the garage. And in Gannon's room, they had found blood that seeped all the way through the carpet, through the padding, all the way down to the concrete. Gannon's mattress also had a red stain on it, and there was blood splattered all over the walls. There was blood literally everywhere in this room, even behind some of the electrical sockets. Over the next few weeks, Letitia would continue to change her story and do some pretty weird stuff, including telling people that she was going to be taking a polygraph test. On February 18th, Letitia called the number for fakepolygraph.com. And unknown to her, police, they were listening, and they had been listening for a while. The phone call doesn't really reveal much, but she does ask why she didn't receive her results. Support told her that any test with illegal activities, the company has the right not to do it. Investigators, they immediately wanted to know what these questions were, so they called that number themselves. Some of the questions that Letitia had provided were, do you intend to answer the following questions truthfully? Do you intend to answer the questions about your stepson truthfully? Did you participate in any way in causing harm to your stepson? Did you participate in any way in causing the death of your stepson? So right then and there, they decided that they wanted to arrest Letitia for the murder of Gannon Stauch. On March 2nd, 2020, Letitia Stauch was arrested in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the murder of her stepson. She was then promptly extradited back to Colorado. While being extradited, she apparently slipped out of her handcuffs and attacked a deputy. March 11th, Letitia made her first court appearance where she didn't say much. About a week later, police in Colorado would announce that they had received a call from the Santa Rosa Police Office, which is about 1,400 miles away. They had found the remains of a small child in a suitcase. 2 days later, the body was identified to be that of Gannon Stauch. Police have no idea how the hell Letitia got Gannon's body all the way down to Florida, but the autopsy showed the brutal way that Gannon was killed. It showed that Gannon had been shot, stabbed, and then thrown off of a bridge. So what the hell would make a stepmom kill her stepson so viciously? Search results from her phone from around the time of the murder show a possible motive. She had searched for things like find me a new husband, find a guy without kids. Details of the case are still coming out, and there are so much of them. It's now being reported that Letitia possibly had help cleaning up the crime scene. Records show that Letitia had sent a text to her daughter Harley, who was at work at the time of Gannon's murder, to pick up those two things of carpet cleaner, trash bags, and baking soda. It's unknown right now how much Harley knew about the murder, but I don't really think that she knew much about it. I think she was just a scared girl. Police, they still have no idea how the hell Gannon's body got all the way down to Florida, so it'll be very interesting to figure this out as more and more details get released. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Mysterious Minds. If you liked the video, then please leave a like on the video and consider clicking that subscribe button and that little bell right beside it so that you don't miss my next video. Also, follow the Mysterious Minds Instagram and Twitter to stay up to date with this channel and future cases. That's all I got for you right now. My name's Tristan. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Today, I got the worst news and the best news. Obviously, we know what the worst news is, but the best news is that justice will be served. And I'll make sure that justice is served because my boy did not deserve any of this that has happened to him. So I urge media one more time just to hold off on questions until we know that this person, the stepmom that I even trusted, that she will pay 100% for this heinous thing she done. And I know that that's going to will be done.